Good morning to all of you. I was told that, there were a lot of energy last night, and many of you didn't hit home right after the dinner, but had a good time around Myeongdong or something. Maybe they already had their karaoke session. Yet you turn up here this morning. So, congratulations to all of you. Well done. So this session itself is really, about charting our future. And it's not so much, what I have to say, but a lot more about, what you would like to see and, of the future, and also, looking a little bit, into the past. And then we'll do some exercises on the table, around the table. So let's see. Okay. So if the tables are smaller numbers, it'll be great if you could combine. If it's too huge, I think not more than 8, hopefully, right, per table. That would give us a lot of time for interaction. Okay, so that's the guideline. So I think, if you read on the Wover app itself, really today, this morning's session, we talk about what our shared future is going to look like, in this region. And that the world is a very, very different place. Some 16 years ago, was it 16? Or since 2006, when, the Asia Society 21 Fellows was launched. I remember during then, Asia was in a very interesting place, extremely diverse, and of course, not as connected economically compared to now. And if you remember, how many of you remember 2006? Because you're much younger, so I cannot assume, I'm a bit older, so I have long memories. So in 2006, well, maybe let me take one step back. So what is the definition of Asia? What's the definition of Asia? Anyone? Yeah? The anti-Europe. Did I hear you right? Wow. Well, you made it first. The non-Europe. Oh, okay. All right, I'm breathing now. Okay. Okay, what others? And when you think about it, right, for a lot of ASEAN, right, meaning the Southeast Asian nations of 10 now plus, right, for us, Asia is that plus maybe 3 or 4, meaning plus China, plus India, plus Japan, plus Korea, that becomes, to us, the dominant thought of what Asia looks like. But then if you really look again, it's much more than that. There is also all the countries like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Pakistan, so on and so forth, right? The whole area itself. So strictly speaking, if you look at Asia, you're not super, super far away, except that there is also America and there's also Latin America, But really, population-wise, we're really talking about maybe close to 2/3 of the world's population. So it's a very, very large area that has been a bit of under the radar for quite a long time. But it's also an area with very rich history and very ancient civilizations. And it is this, very rich culture, diversity, and context that also gives rise to a very different level of development in Asia, throughout the whole of Asia itself. And in 2006, you have, some very strong Asia economies known as the 4 Asia Tigers, which is namely Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, right? But today, what do you hear? You hear the rise of Vietnam, but the decline of Taiwan and Hong Kong, right? South Korea and Singapore are still relatively strong, that, and Hong Kong, I think, may have a chance to rise again, maybe, right? But then you hear a lot more about the rise of Vietnam, Indonesia, even Uzbekistan, right? And of course, Thailand, of course, you advocate that, right? Oh, you're not, really? Okay. Then, of course, China and India and so on. And this part of the world has become the engine of growth, right? So as this part of the earth becomes the engine of growth and also, the population center and also actually quite a fast aging demography, what do you fathom? What do you make of Asia, say, in the next 10 years? Politically, I think a lot has happened. It used to have, longer reigns for each political, let's say, election. But in many of these Asian countries, it's become shorter and shorter. South Korea, for example, changed leadership a lot in the past as well. I think up until the last couple of terms, maybe, and we see lots of changes politically, lots of changes socially as these countries rise. They start to have different things, from J-pop to K-pop to now, I don't know, Chin pop, Sino-pop, and, maybe Vietnam pop also, Thai pop as well, right? So I think what we are seeing is really that the fact that we are living in very unprecedented times, where there's geopolitical changes, where there is also a lot of social changes, demographic changes, and one other thing, technological change, that we are not sure what will exactly happen with the advent of generative AI, right? And how does that then, give a different stance to even the question of borders? Will we become more protectionist, or will we become more, open? And then with, of course, against the background of all the tensions around the world, whether it is the war in Ukraine, or the Palestinian or the Hamas-Israeli, conflicts, all of these things, I think, throw up a world that is way more uncertain than in 2006. And this year, right, is the year that you became our Asia 21 Fellows. Next Gen Fellows, in fact, right? So what does that mean for you? And I'd like you to take just a couple of, maybe a minute or so, to just look inside and ask yourself, what is your own transformation from the year 2006 till today? How did you see the world? How did you perceive Asia in 2006? What does Asia mean to you in 2006? Take a pause, be still, and think a little bit. And now, today, what is it? What does Asia mean to you today? And now, I'd like you to fast forward. What does Asia mean to you in 10 years' time? A lot of us, the oldies, put our hopes in the next gen, in you. My retirement depends on you, or at least the retirement world depends on you, right? So what kind of world will you let me live in 10 years' time? What does that look like? So I'd like you, to have this deep thought. It's a serious issue because I can tell you, time will fly. And if you don't take the responsibility and the ownership of shaping your own future, then default will. And default is sometimes unkind and cannot be wound back. So I'd like you to do this exercise with me. Can we have the PPT? Yeah. Okay. All right, but the control? So this session is going to be about you, your thoughts, right? And how you think 10 years' time will look like, which is 2033 will look like. Can I have the... You can't find it? Oh, okay. All right. No problem, no problem. How do I use this? Okay. I've pointed everywhere. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So in your imagination of what your vision of 2033 will look like, right? I'd like you to join me in this exercise to tell me, what is the sort of mindset and competencies that's required to get us all there. Okay? So what mindsets and competencies are required for the region's new leaders, which is yourselves, right? To keep Asia secure, peaceful, and thriving in the 21st century. You have in front of you a piece of paper, a big piece of paper, right, in the center. I would like you to now draw circles on it, okay? Next slide, please. Okay. I think if this is blocked, you can look at the one at the side. Okay, draw 3 big circles. 1, 2, 3 circles. Okay, if somebody can, start doing that now. If there's a marker, that'll be great. Yep. Okay, draw 3 big circles. Okay, no worries about the color. Just draw 3 big circles. You don't. Oh, you do. Yep. Okay, we'll have to do this quickly so that I need a watch, a clock, a watch. Yes. Thank you.
And that's just coming at 9:30.
Exactly.
What do you want, the stopwatch?
Yeah. Okay. It's okay. We'll start in a short while. Yeah. Okay. Once you've done that. Okay, fellows, because we have the ambassador coming at 9:30, I want to, end it on time. So this is going to be a rapid fire session, a rapid fire, rounds, okay? So once you've done that, right, what I would like you to do is individually to write down at the side of the circle itself, so you can write it here, right? Each one of you, without discussion, right? What you think are the mindsets and competencies required. Okay, you have 30 seconds to do that. That's right, outer ring. Okay, outer ring. The outer ring, write your suggested mindset and competencies.
You got 20 seconds now.
Okay, no discussion at all. Okay, we will get to the discussions, but no discussion, just write down your thoughts. Okay? 30, Okay, we'll give, since you just started, you need a bit of warm-up, 10 seconds more for you. Okay, write down individually. That means not one person, but individually, you know, just write something there.
Time's up.
Okay, once that is done, I'd like you to use, well, I need tools. Do you have serviettes on your table? Okay, the serviettes are your currencies. That's your dollar and cents, okay? So use a serviette without discussing, vote. Vote for the one that, you know, you think is your values. But before you vote, I want each one of you to explain why you have chosen that particular value. Okay, and again, no discussion. Yeah, you can use fork or spoon or whatever, or tissue, okay? So next round, fellows, right now, what I'd like you to do is not to discuss, but just to listen. Learn to listen to the other party. So no discussion at all, but the one who wrote, you have a chance to articulate why you have written that particular idea or value, okay? So you could go, so each one take turns, and each one, again, no more than 30 seconds. Okay, we start now. And I'll give you a hint of when that 30 seconds is. Thank you, we'll just put it here, so, you know, yeah. No discussion, okay? Once 30 seconds is up, we'll change to the next person. Okay? Next person. Next person. Next already, right? Next person. Next person. It's quite good. Because you. Next person. I know we have some bigger tables and smaller tables, so the smaller tables get a bit more time. Okay, remember, no discussion. Just allow the other party and to speak. Next person. Next person. Okay, is there any table with anyone who has not had a chance to speak yet? Are you all good? Okay. Now that you're all good, do your voting with your fork, with your tissue paper, right? So those who have done so already, okay, do your voting immediately. Use a fork or the tissue paper and place it on the one that you are convinced. Okay, the one that you're convinced with. Each person gets 2 votes. Each person gets 2 votes.
Can you vote for yourself?
Okay, each person gets 2 votes. Yes, you can vote for yourself. Okay, now you can discuss.
15 more minutes, 15 more minutes.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. All right, voting is closing in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, stop voting. And now, can you decide? Can you list those that got the highest number of votes? Okay. Okay, list it on the second circle. Okay. That's your shortlisted competencies and mindset. Okay, write it down. Write it down. Mindsets you can have, 2, and then for skill sets could be 3. Yeah. If you don't have them distinguished, it's okay. Just vote 3. Okay? And write them down. Okay? Right away. Okay? Now, those who has got their idea put into the second round could now have another chance to advocate, okay, for those points in terms of priority. Okay, so you prioritize. So you probably have about 3 or so in the second round circle, right? Now prioritize them. I understand that some groups had not distinguished between mindsets and skill set. That's fine, okay? But, do put it down and then do discuss the priority. Okay, so that's round 2, and you get 3 minutes to do so. 18, yeah, that's fine. Okay, it's become 2 minutes now. Okay? Okay, so let me repeat. What you do now is that you have already chosen the top 3 competencies or top 2 mindsets. You've put that into the second inner circle, right? Write them down. And now what you need to do, right, is to prioritize them. Once you've prioritized them, put that into the center circle.
We're all good. We have our mindsets and our competencies as well. So
That's
we're
excellent. Okay, once you're done, assign somebody to talk about it, to represent the group, to present to the class. The time. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I need the thing here. I need the watch here. Yeah. Okay. I know that the session is a little shorter than what we've anticipated. I apologize for that. But I think, you're working, at really good speed. And we're at a stage where I think most of the classes, most of the groups are done. So let's, go for the presentation. Each group sends a representative, and you have 1 minute each, right, to state your case. All right, so with that, can I get volunteers? Your group is ready, okay. All right.
I don't know. Wait.
Transcultural.
You might have to explain. Yes. So, Cheng will also support me. So, we have a bunch of skills and mindsets. So, the first skill is democratic.
Just tell me your priorities will do. The center will do.
Oh, right. Like the top 3?
Yeah, you have to state your
So
case.
we had a tied situation. So the first one was trans-cultural communications, and then we had collaboration, innovation, and future thinking, and we were tied at democratic innovation, level-headedness, and agility.
Wow, that sounds like 10. Okay, why so?
You can explain the first one, the transaction communities.
Okay, I have to be brutal here because time's up.
Okay.
So thank you. Next. Pass it to the next table. Yeah. Okay.
All right, we have 2 mindsets. One is a human-centric approach.
If you could stand up so the rest can see you.
We have 2 mindsets. One is a human-centric approach that's collaborative, and from a skill set that's required, adaptability and innovation-focused.
Why?
Because the whole thing, or
Innovation. Pitch your case.
Oh,
why are these the chosen qualities?
I mean, as you mentioned, we have a lot of different cultures and countries in Asia, so there needs to be an emphasis on collaborating with the different interests across the region. And the human-centric focus serves as a guiding principle that hopefully could unite all of the interests in a, centered manner. Adaptability and innovation, I think with technology, that could be a very strong factor that would unify these things. And
thank you. Could you pass it to the table behind you? Okay, the minute starts now. Yep.
So we've landed on 1 mindset and 2 competencies. So our mindset that we decided on was empathy, because with a variety of cultures and around Asia, you need to be able to understand where different people are coming from and how they think. But we also want to have adaptability, because we want to be able to implement what we learned in order to adjust, for either adapting global policies or plans for individual countries, or just being able to move as our region changes very quickly and rapidly in a very complex way. We need to be able to adapt. But at the end of the day, none of these things are relevant or sustainable without accountability. So we have these 1 mindset and 2 competencies.
Very good. Thank you. And all within the time, though, you've got more time. Excellent. Okay, could you pass the mic to the next one? So these two tables are very similar. Yeah. Okay. Okay, just speak into it. Yep.
It works.
Yep, that's good.
We said trust because we had adaptability as a second choice, but we said trust because in 2033, probably we would be making decisions assisted by other things. So humans have to make some kind of judgment calls within themselves, and in order to make things work, you need to trust each other.
Okay, so trust and adaptability. Okay, thank you. Next table. Can we send the mic quickly up there?
I could scream if people could hear me.
Okay, Jia Chuan, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I scream?
Oh,
If people hear me?
okay.
You could come over here.
Alright, I'll come over there.
Okay.
I'll take up my 1 minute. Thanks, Penny.
Right.
Okay, so pretty straightforward for us. So we had empathy, humility, and take action. Humility, I think it's a very common trait within Asian societies that I think that makes it very distinctive from other regions of the world. And we do need more humility in our leadership across the world, and hopefully that could be something that Asian countries could play a key role in. And the last one, I think, which got overwhelmingly positive results in terms of our voting was take actions, because I think there's a lot of goodwill in the Asia region, and there's a lot of conversations that are occurring. But I think there more emphasis is needed for taking action on driving initiatives that are beneficial to the region. And this is my personal advocacy, not so much for my colleagues on the table. Is we need our own version of Eurovision, so Asia Vision, which I think Korea will probably win every year. But anyway, it's a great way of uniting our region.
Thank you. Thank you.
So going super quickly over here as well, we started on like empathy and pragmatism as mindsets, because I think we need to balance both what we want to aspire to, but also an understanding of like what we can achieve as well. So like balancing that going forward. Then in terms of competencies, we had 3, one of which was diversity and unity. So being an understanding of the very diverse nature of the Asia region, and also agile and inclusive growth. So I think echoing like what we said, like taking action quickly, being agile, but also being inclusive at the same time. And the last one was just like money and funding, just like fuel like initiatives and push things along as well. So balancing empathy and pragmatism over here.
Thank you. Thank you. And we have one last table. I think, Armin, you're the only guy over there now. So it's not. Okay. All right. I think we covered everyone, right? So fellows, I think you did fantastically well, despite the very short time that we have. And it is quite interesting, to know that many of you share the same values. And many of you have put in priority diversity in unity, right? And then adaptability, I guess that's a lot to do with uncertainties, that we're experiencing, whether in the technological field or in the social, political, or even economic field. We are seeing a lot of uncertainty, and therefore adaptability, innovation, comes up as tops. But in all of this, what I am feeling as you were talking, it really is this, that when each one of us is able to sort of, still ourselves a little bit and think deeply, we all do connect with each other. And that's why some of the values that are listed, because it could have been anything, but the values that are listed are actually quite similar. So we do have certain shared values, and we do have certain shared ideas. The question is, of course, who said? Do we take action? Right? We have to take action at the end of it. So this is a room full of young people, way younger than I am, and it is, your chance to really connect deeply with each other, leverage on this community to put forward the shared values that you have, the shared ideas that you have, and most importantly, to build the trust and social capital that is necessary for all of the good things to happen. So on that note, thank you very much for, doing this with me.